2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Welcome to a very, very special edition Friday of Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto, MrFOMO. And MrFOMO, we have some pretty interesting news just came out today. And before I give that interesting news, I gotta give a Luna update. You gotta remember, we're the official Luna channel. And Luna has just flipped Ethereum and Solana to become the most staked asset with 31.6 billion. So not only did it get over 100 a couple times, didn't quite hit the 110, but that's because of BTC, really.
That's
still
right.
In the 90s, still doing great. And it's staked more than any other asset, continues to burn every day. Just amazing. Remember our prediction,
Love that moon.
500 minimum over the next bull run, which we anticipate will be 2024 into 2025. 110 this month is looking a little shaky, but hey, we almost hit 105. So I'll take the L if that's the highest we get, but not too bad considering it was 48 just last month. So it's one of your very few cryptos. I also talk about another one that's done very well this month, that's doing well. And MrFOMO, listen to this. We got some leaks about the new VGX VLP program. In fact, one of our special guests, Dom, is meeting with Steve as we speak today. So we'll even have more. And I just wanted to run a couple of you by and see what you think. There's going to be a new lower tier with 50 tokens, a higher VLP tier with 50,000, where you might get a personal concierge. NFT drops, exclusive benefits that they're not ready to say. But it looks like the VLP is going to become more and more valuable. And right now in the 150s, again, guys, we're talking about 2 years from now. If you have the patience to let that money in sit, you'll be a very, very happy camper buying in the 150. So if you're watching the show right now, you don't have VGX, you're looking to invest in crypto, besides Luna, which again, I love Luna, but right now it's a bit high. I would personally wait a little bit for it to cool down before I put in a little bit more, although there are people buying at 100 today and yesterday.
I would right now, I think it's at 90 or something like that. Did I see that?
91. Yeah, 91.
Yeah, I think if you wanted to start layering in now that it's retraced a little bit, it may take off like a rocket and go past 100, in the next couple of weeks or in the next month and a half.
Depends on BTC.
Right. It depends on BTC. But, if you wanted to start layering in now that it's drawn back a little bit, might not be a bad idea. I know I'm probably targeting a lower entry point to start layering back in, but that's just me. I don't want to be a constant FOMO. So
what do you think about the rumored VGX VLP? Obviously, if they're still doing the white paper, it's not ready to go just yet, but some interesting
I love
things.
I love it. I think they ought to give Dom credit because he was on the show a month or two ago, and he said, it needs to be more things to more people, and there needs to be a lower tier to onboard people, maybe a higher tier. He had a lot of these ideas. I don't know about the personal concierge. That seems like an awesome idea, and my mind is going wild over what this person will do for you. Probably just have to do with crypto and stocks and whatever else they're planning on doing. But having a personal concierge is something that I never dreamed of. So, I have a new goal of 50,000 VGX that I will probably never reach. I'm way off right now, but I'll keep layering in and keep doing my Friday buy ritual. Maybe one day I'll have that personal concierge.
Yeah, again, right now in the 150s, that's a great value. And I think 2 years from now, we'll look back and say, that was at 150. And so I definitely think if you are considering VGX, I mean, I don't see it going down to $1, even if BTC somehow goes back to the 32K range, which we think is the bottom. So again, I think it's a great buy. I want to talk a little bit about BTC, and a lot of people have kind of been in the doldrums. And yeah, we haven't been able to sustain any momentum above 40. We've gotten to 40 now 3 times since January, and we've been rejected. 45, 44, and then now at 42. But I want to say this, um, this kind of idea I had, if the crypto community would somehow get together, I know it's impossible to organize everyone, but really front load BTC. You know, if you really do want another leg up before 2024 or before 2023, people are going to have to invest in Bitcoin. And so, waiting until it goes down to 32 and investing and not investing when it's 40, that's not going to work. You got to get more people into crypto, and people have to invest in BTC because right now, let's face it, we talked about this. BTC moves the market. So if we as a community really want another leg up and we want these alts to sustain, because it's been very difficult. There's very few alts that have sustained. Yeah, some have pumped for a week or maybe a few days, but they have not been able to sustain any momentum. BTC has to have a healthy 2, 3, 4 weeks. It can't be a couple days. Oh, we're back to 40, 42, and then 24 hours later, we're back in the low 30s. People have to buy BTC. And so a lot of the people that are complaining, that are have the woe is me attitude, if a lot of people got together and just bought some BTC, we could front load this market. Obviously, some people try to take advantage of it and do shorts and do longs and sells. But what do you think of, maybe it's a pipe dream of mine, but I have heard a couple other people mention it, sometimes high in the industry. What do you think of a bunch of not only the investors, retail, but also some of the coins themselves? What do you think about a big front load into BTC to help it take off? Do you
And
think that has any
I
legs?
think it's a great idea, and I'll do one better. I said everybody should layer into crypto, or even take a big chunk. If you haven't gotten into crypto, not financial advice, but I would probably say layer in. But I'm gonna call it Moon Day, and I'm gonna say March 21st should be that day, because the date is 321,
Hmm.
and then we take off. So I think, and that might even be a Monday this year, so it might even work out.
And I'll tell you what, I'm fine if a much bigger channel than ours takes this idea and steals it
I
and
hope
just gets
so.
a bunch of people involved. I don't even need the credit, but I'm just saying, um, if we spent as a community
We need the credit.
some of that time crying about the price action and actually went into BTC and bought, um, I know it's difficult. You can't force people to buy. It's their money, no financial advice. But if there was a concerted effort to make BTC a little more stable, you would
Or
see
even
the rest
just
of the market recover. And
just
and here's the thing.
get a friend onto an exchange, by that date. Try and get one friend into crypto by, March 21st, or
If you're
even,
buying under 40s or the low 40s, you're going to feel great 5, 10 years from now if you consider this a long-term hold. Even by 2024, 2025, I can guarantee you we're going to be nowhere near 38, 39K. I just that will be like an ultimate retracement if it's that low. I don't think it'll even retrace. There'll be a time where 40K is just unreasonable. There'll be a time where 50K is unreasonable. So why not front load the market now, knowing what we know? Otherwise, it is going to take some time. Listen, we've talked about. I call this the Yogi Bear market. You called it something different. If people don't have confidence in BTC, you're just not going to see any consistent price action. Just the way it is. We're just being honest on the show. We're not here to give you the pom poms and lie to you and say, "Hey, alt season is right here." We're not that type of program. When we make a prediction and we're wrong, we'll face the music. Like if Luna does not get to 110, I want to come on and I'm going to apologize, no doubt. And I was hoping BTC would get to 48. It's going to have to be a hell of a week. It really is.
no,
Not
I,
not holding.
I looked over some things, and I watched a few videos, and I noticed that March is usually not a good month, especially after you have a red January. For some reason, there usually is a red March. So March, and we had that rally at the end of February, and that saved February. So February was actually a decent month by the numbers on the monthly close. But when you look at March, it's not a great month, but April does tend to be a good month over the.
Well, but play devil's advocate, December during a bull run is normally amazing and it's horrible. So, like you
Right.
said, we can't just rely on past
It
activity.
is a bit of gambler's logic, but the ideas are there. You've got a lot of people buying behind the scenes, a lot of OTC buys. You've got today Mexico announced that they're going to be
Early stages, yes.
right. So
Legal
they're going to
tender
be adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. So
down the road, yeah.
you've got some really good news out there for Bitcoin. So I would
Look,
imagine that there are better times ahead.
there's no doubt in our minds that sooner rather than later, the next couple of years, I really believe we're going to get over 100K. But right now, if you want to see a 50K BTC, average person's got to buy, retail's got to buy,
Yeah.
wheels got to buy. It's just the way it is,
And that's why I
I,
don't think it's good enough for just all the people in the crypto community to make a purchase by that date. I think really it's a good idea to really start getting our friends, our
Mhm.
relatives to even just to get into USDC to make sure that they're taking advantage of
Yeah.
that 10%.
And if you didn't see our UTC episode, by the way, hit the like button, subscribe. We made that episode a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. Check that out because you could be earning 9%. I wanted to talk really quickly about some projects that people might not be aware of that are now pretty easy to accumulate. And one is Waves. Now, if you don't know, Waves this month has gone up 141%. And that's even better than Luna. Yes, it's possible something can do a better, not long term better than Luna, but Waves is only at a 2.7 billion market cap, and that's what really makes it interesting. Now, it's a blockchain that's an open protocol for Web 3.0 and decentralized applications, and it prioritizes speed and efficiency, and it wants to incorporate in the Ethereum network, and it had a really nice run. Okay, so in 1 week we were up 36%. For the month we're up to 140, and it's one that got all the way up to $30.96 and now retraced to 25. I'm not saying buy now, but if
Yeah,
the market does continue to struggle over the next couple months and this thing retraces into the 20, 18, 15 area, and you're looking for something long term that you're saying, okay, I love Luna, but what about something that's closer to between 1 and 2 billion that could get to 20, 30, 40, 50 in the next bull run? I've got my eye on Waves. I really do. And again, I've not jumped in just yet myself, but if it continues to retrace and knowing its value with the open protocol and Web 3.0 and the applications that could run on it, it could be a very interesting ecosystem. Um,
yeah.
the sentiment was, I saw a lot of people talking about it on Twitter, and it just randomly showed up on Voyager a couple days ago.
In
So
these shaky markets, anything that goes up 141% is going to get Twitter and Reddit's attention. But yeah, like you said, I wouldn't recommend buying now after it just saw that huge pump. Even with a little bit of retrace, I'd like to do a little bit of a deeper dive on it. I think maybe we'll do a show on Waves.
mhm.
But you know me, I like to read their technical papers. I like to dive into the white paper, look at the tokenomics, and really get a feel for.
Yeah, so it's listen to this. January when things were going horrible, $7.57, and it hit 40 this month. So with all the negativity and the struggle BTC had, that's impressive. The only like Luna, I know for sure, I know has done amazing. Uh, KNC, I'll throw that one out, even though it's retracing heavily now, was one that did well. But Waves is some. If you've been doing well the last couple months as a coin, that means you're a special project. So I've got my eye on it. If you wanted to start layering in now for the long term, it wouldn't be horrible. But again, if you see this thing at 15, I won't remind you of this, but in a month or two, and you want something long term for the next couple years that you think can really pop, I mean that it gets down to a 2 billion, 20 billion market cap is doable for a good project, especially an ecosystem that's developing in DeFi that's new. And we'll go into a deeper dive, but as of right now, there's only 107 million in circulation, so that's pretty good too. no info on max supply. We'll do more research, but
Yeah, we'll look into
definitely,
the technical papers on that.
definitely, I definitely start looking at it for sure. What do you got? Because you want to tell the listeners an interesting story, viewers today, about your
I
experience with
lucked
one of the coins.
into Immutable X. I've always kind of liked Immutable X. I like the gaming sector, and it's one of the things that I want to tell the viewers that even in a down market, gaming is one of those things that you can find a little bit of action sometimes. So don't forget about gaming. And for me, I stumbled into Immutable X this week. I saw that they were down a little bit. I pumped just a little bit of money in there and pulled it out kind of when it was pumping, not at the height, but maybe about 7 cents off of the height. And now it's actually pumping again. So I'm thinking about jumping back on it, but I don't know if I should chase that train anymore. But they had a $200 million funding round to fund some more games. So they had some good news
Good. I mean,
this week, and it seems to have been buy the rumor, sell the news. And I'm not saying I knew the rumor, but I lucked into it on Coinbase a little bit. So
yeah, and it's good
don't
to see
forget
that
about
at least
gaming.
some of these projects do have money going in. So again, I would, even though we're in a bear market, it's a friendly bear, but there is interest. But again, it's going to take some BTC momentum. So people have to buy BTC. I think it's that simple. Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm
Yeah,
not
I think
completely
with
giving
only
up.
50% of the world actually invested in cryptocurrency, I think that we're a long ways off from other cryptos decoupling from Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you're exactly right. I think that
Not. I don't see it happening until the earliest 2024, next bull run,
and
early.
that's a stretch if we don't get more people in. 3%.
And you know, something like Luna, I could see that happening, but not quite yet. You know, it's not ready to do it yet. I mean, it's trying. They're trying. They have amazing tokenomics, but they're not quite there yet. But like I said, the waves, the project you just mentioned, it gives us hope that maybe some good days are around the corner. We'll have to see. Um, I've seen some technical analysis and algorithms that say next week could be good, but it's tough to say with a war, with the negative sentiment. Um, I really thought that we would hit 48 this month, but it's like I said, right now it's not looking good. I'll take my medicine if it doesn't happen. But again, I think the key for our viewers right now, word here is patience, because right now we're just not in the middle of the bull run. Okay, so if you got in late, you know, November, unfortunately, or when we started this show, you've kind of gone in. I wouldn't say a horrible time because it is time to build. So you can look at it as a time to build, slowly get into some of these projects we've been talking about. So hey, next time Luna goes down, start layering in. VGX right now, if you do your research, if you think it's gonna pop like we do the next couple of years, you want to be
We're in love with that project.
yeah, I mean, debit cards are coming soon. VLP looks like it's finally around the corner. VLP 2.0 layer in, BTC layer in. You got USDC, depending on what exchange, and you know, Voyager 9%. There's still some opportunities here, and you know, it's not as exciting as a coin going 100% in 3 or 4 days, but those days will come back again. I have no doubt in my mind those days will be here. The question is how soon, and I'm hopeful that we get some action before 2024. I'll say that. I'd be shocked if we stayed between 30 and 40, 42-ish, maybe. We kind of touched 45, but it was just a brief touch. I'd be shocked if we zigzag between 30 and 40 for the next year and a half. I think at some point we're due for some type of breakout. I don't anticipate 100K, but you know, you get to the 48.50, you'll see some alts run. Maybe not for several months, but it will give you a chance to make some money. You just have to make sure you're ready to take profit. So we'll be there. And that's the thing, you got to watch shows, you got to pay attention. And so if you're not, you don't have the time to get on Twitter all day, like we try to do, then watch a show and we'll help you guys out. Mr. FOMO, anything left for our viewers tonight?
These are good DCA times. Don't be afraid to layer in. You believe in something, and you put your money where your mouth is. That's where we're at. We've got a few projects that we really believe in long term.
Yeah.
We've mentioned a few tonight. and that's kind of where you're at. Like I said, only 3% of the world is actually involved in crypto in some way, and that includes all the people in NFTs. So you're way ahead of the game. If your portfolio's down, you know, take it on the chin. Take this time to learn about dollar cost averaging, lowering your exposure while you're doing it, and then when we hit those good days, you're gonna be happy you did.
All right. And don't forget, Luna is only getting stronger and stronger every day. Guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
See ya.